thank you. He asked me the first question. Why don't you just put your mic on? So welcome everybody. And please keep this informal as best we can. As I mentioned earlier at the lunchtime, the tough questions I will pass on to Ayahasapanya, and the easy ones I'll keep for myself. Yeah.
Is it? Oh yeah. So, and then I pass it back to him.
Now you pass it down the line, not up the line. It's one of the first things you learn as being a senior monk. Always pass it down. So, okay. So everybody who is here, including our lovely Thai guests, who come every week. Now, what would be the first question you would like to ask? Are we live? We are live. Okay. So what's the first question you would like to ask? Leha? You're our ops manager, so you can start the ops with what question would you like to ask?
What is the significance of Vesak Day for Buddhists?
Well, that's a very difficult one, so I'll pass that down to Ayahasapanya. It's basically asking, what am I here for today?
Huh?
Go on.
Yeah, significance is to commemorate the birth, the enlightenment, and the passing away of the Buddha. And it's nice that we remember him, that someone exists, and also sometimes the arouse faith. The other day we were talking about sometimes the practice, and over a period of time, you meditate and the same old breath, and you keep going. You feel a bit down, But sometimes, when you participate in this event, especially in Buddhist society of Western Australia, and they uplift you, you feel like you inspire, and then you give you the inspiration. It's like a booster, So every year, Vesak, you should come to BSWA. So they give you the boost. It's a booster for you. This is for me. That this is the significance of the Vesak. Okay, Ajahn Brahm.
Very good. So now, to make sure that everybody gets something to do.
Well, for me, this is my first Vesak here at the BSWA, and for me, that's pretty significant personally, and it's really just a beautiful opportunity for us to all come together and see all these special qualities in each other. So it's just, for me, it's about gratitude, because that's what I feel right now. So, thank you.
Did you do any Vesak ceremonies in Texas?
No, not cultural, really in Texas so much to do Vesak, but.
Oh yeah, go on.
She got a mic there.
She's got the fucking.
No one can get away, okay.
No, one can.
Vesak ceremony is for us nuns, junior and middle nuns, is to accompany Ajahn Hasapanya to come to Vesak and to support the chanting and to try to be answering questions wisely, but can't really be very wise at the moment. Anyway, I think Vesak also celebrated here quite different from the country where I come from, Malaysia. Vesak in Malaysia is very much what I remembered as we have floats where the vehicle being decorated with lights and all that, and there's a lot of merrymaking, and people come to the temple. It's a public holiday. BSWA here. What inspired me is people come early in the morning on Sunday to take 5 precepts and 8 precepts. That's quite touching, for the effort made coming here to do this, just a simple chanting, but something that you commit at least for 24 hours or for many, many days. and also to get the blessings. And that's what inspired me to come here with Ajahn Hasapanya to also participate in this two-way of giving. You give us the inspiration, we give you the inspiration. So that's really lovely. So yeah, that's in short Vesak inspiration for me.
Great. In 2016, I woke up in the middle of the night in Vancouver so I could do the 5 Precepts ceremony with Ajahn Brahm online. And so that has an extra bit of significance for me. And yeah, the other significance is I'm now sitting here as a nun because of the BSWA. You guys made this available, this training available at all. And then I think, well, where does that come from? You go back and back and back, and it all comes because of the Buddha arising in the world. And so it really means this entire life that I share with so many people. It's not just me, it's all of you who have helped make this available. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, tamale, ex-tamale. What do you call it now? Still tamale?
Sorry, what?
It's okay.
Oh, go on. Where did I first meet you? Tamale?
Tehani.
Tehani, okay. No, I said tamale. Hey, Tehani, where did I first meet you?
In the UK, Ajahn.
Where? At the what organisation?
A Dhamma talk.
Of course I remember.
In London, you give a Dhamma talk. So I
A
attended.
Dhamma talk in London, and then you became the treasurer of what organisation?
Yes.
Of the
Anukampa.
Anukampa Bhikkhuni project, yes. You see, that's what happens when you become treasurers of these organizations. You end up serving, and then we serve you. Make sure you live a wonderful life as eventually as a bhikkhuni.
Yes.
So, what's the significance of Vesak for you?
Well, this is my first Vesak at the BSWA.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has been, it's very touching to see all the people who have come here, because I'm from Sri Lanka, and like Venerable Jyotika said, it's a public holiday in Sri Lanka, and we do a lot of like dana and generosity, and also it's a celebration, so a lot of decorations and things. But I don't know, it just jogged my memory of my childhood memories from Vesak days in Sri Lanka. But it has been lovely coming here today with the bhikkhunis.
Excellent. Thank you.
So Ajahn, so you should ask the treasurer of BSWA, the assistant both of them, are they interested to become a monk?
Yeah. Good idea. Okay, anyway. So, the next question. Oh, yes. With John in the back.
This is a question that's come up many times. I've heard it asked, and it's sort of asking Venerable Hasapanya remarks on this one. At Newbury Monastery, single males can stay there, and then bhikkhunis are happy about that, but you can't do that at Dhammaloka. What's the reason for that?
Male to stay there? I say Dhammasara?
Sorry?
You what's the question? So
Oh, okay. At Newbury in Victoria,
yeah.
the bhikkhunis don't mind single men staying there,
Yeah.
but at Dharmasara that's not allowed. So I was just wondering, and this is a question that's been asked for a number of years,
Okay.
and it would be good to clear it up if you could.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I think we do have single male come and stay. Not single. I mean, with a family, because we have quite limited space, because of it's most of the times is, you know, we have family would like to come, and it's sometimes very nice for them to come, and then some, you know, they come in a family, and then husband and wife, and we do have people come to work, isn't it? We do have like a male come to help, and they work, and they stay at the monastery. We do, but it's maybe we are not as I think not as many male guests as Newbury, but we do have. Yeah, we do have occasionally. We do have, because the problem is because we have there's 3 rooms there, and sometimes it's very difficult because some female feel uncomfortable to put together with another male in the same block. So sometimes the site is normally short stay, because sometimes if a male stay there, the other rooms we can't use for a female. And then it's a bit of like, you know, and then the one person will occupy 3 rooms. That is a bit difficult for us. But we do have like, you know, single males come, but it's not as often as in Newbury. You know, we do, they come, and some volunteers, they come and work, they help, and they stay overnight, they stay for a few days. That's happened, but it's not something that is a regular thing, you know, and also, yeah, and because normally we have certain period that we normally don't take as many guests, we reduce because of the bushfire season. And also because also we have to consider the evacuations, whether we have enough seats, you know, to evacuate. And normally during bushfire season, we normally don't take someone from overseas or over east, because anytime we evacuate, they have to have a place to stay. And sometimes they can be very panicking. You know, but for us, we used to it, and sometimes it's so extra burden for us to try to look after them, you know. So yeah, normally we have regular come, like a family, you know, that they do come, you know, and sometimes that 2 family come and they stay in a 1 block, and yeah, it's quite often we do have, but not a single meal we have, but it's just not regular as in Newbury. It's just because of we don't have that enough facilities for that. Is that clear, your questions? Okay.
Excellent.
I have a question in relation to the time when the Buddha was born. Thank you. I just have a question about the time when the Buddha was born, how his mother was walking to her village and had him in Lumbini. Would you be able to talk about how he was born? And there's some, I don't know, stories or things that I've heard that he was quite tall when he was born and he could walk. Was that the case?
Yes. Well, personally, you know, when I became a Buddhist, I was very into just being rational, being logical, and I thought, how could that ever be? But then, just over the years of being a monk and seeing some many quite strange and weird things happened in my life, and especially the talking. And it was many years ago, I think in our community hall, when a couple of Australian people came to see me. They were young parents, and they said they weren't Buddhists. They said that when their second child was born, their second child could speak. And they told me the incident. I said this in a talk many times, that they just got their younger child back from the maternity hospital, and so they had the 2 children with them, mum and dad, that was all. And they just told their eldest son, Paul, go and say good night to your baby brother. So he went over to his baby brother and leaned over the cot or the sleeper he was in the room and said, good night, Paul. And then, I think I get the names wrong every time, but the name is not important. Then the little baby, only a few weeks old, Paul, said to his baby brother, to his elder brother, good night, Peter. And that's not what they expected, a baby to talk like that. And so the parents, they were just shocked, and they just stared. And without any sort of prompting, the elder child said to the baby brother again, good night, Paul. And then Paul said to his elder brother, Peter, good night, Peter. And that shocked him. It was the second time, and the second time they were both paying full attention. And also, I remember them commenting to me that the little baby did not speak in a baby voice. It was like an adult voice. And that was also really weird. But it spoke, it moved its lips, the words came from the 2 or 3 week old child. And the way they told it, they said, they come to tell us because we're Buddhists and they think that we would not consider them to be crazy. And of course I didn't consider them to be crazy, they just wanted someone to say that they hadn't imagined this, it was actually real. And that's happened quite a few times. When I tell stories like that, other people come up and tell me that they've had the same story, the same event. Their kid, at an age when it shouldn't be able to speak, spoke. So basically it does happen. Extremely rare. A little child can speak. Walking, that I'm not sure of, I've never seen that. But I do remember another woman who comes here, that when she had her first child, and then she was still in the hospital, and then the child, she breastfed her little child, and then the child just crawled onto the mother's belly, crossed its legs into full lotus, put its hands in the lap, and started meditating. It closed his eyes. And the mother kind of freaked out, even though she was a meditator, to see the child doing that at such just a couple of days after being born. It was really, really weird. And of course she told me about this. So there are some weird stories. I haven't seen anybody walking when they were just born, but certainly talking, yes. And if that was someone who is about to become a Buddha, who knows? Interestingly, though, the first couple said they decided to not tell anybody at first because people would not understand them. They think they were crazy. Weird stuff which happens in life, people reject automatically. But sometimes maybe it can be true. And if it's in the sutras there, why not? What does it gain by saying these things? So I say it probably did happen, weird as it is. If you want to send me to get some therapy, please send me. You'll give me a few days off work. What do you think, Venerable Asapanya?
So I have no direct experience with that. I think I got one. There is one lady came to me, and she's not really a Buddhist, but because she knows that Buddhists believe in rebirth, and she told me about the story with she and her daughter. Because when her daughter about to pass away, because she and her daughter, they have the ability of they don't have to talk. They're just they're just using, they're just what they think in the mind, and the other side of her daughter, they communicate through that way, and then like they're talking, but not verbally talking, but they look at each other and they're just talking in that way, then through the mind, and then because her daughter was very sick to hospital, and then she hear her daughter told her that, okay, don't park in the short term, you park in the long term. It's because the short term is just a few hours, the parking. And then eventually because many years already, I can't really remember the detail that she told me this story. And then after that, her daughter passed away. Then after her daughter passed away, I think next year, something like that. And then her daughter told her that she come back. And then later, not long later, then her daughter-in-law got pregnant. And then after that, when is give birth to a son, like her grandson. So that time her grandson, like when he started to be able to talk, and actually like the grandson call her mom. Like, and then the way the grandson hug her is like usually how her daughter hug her, the way, just calling her mom. And then she's told me all this time she don't have any grief at all, because she feel that the daughter is still there. But then slowly I think the memory fading away, and then slowly the little boy like do not really like what he used to be when he was little, like used to hug him and hug her and call call her mom. And slowly the boy just like, just another human being. And then she told me that time she started to grieve. She felt that like it's now no longer her daughter anymore. It's another being, and she said that because all this time that she don't feel, she's not grieving at all because of she felt that the daughter is still with her. But then as a grandson, like he, the memory fading away, and he just like a normal child, normal kids, And then this time she feel the loss of her daughter, and this is the story she told me. And it's a risk because she says she don't dare to tell anyone because people think that she's crazy. Maybe she's imagined. So, but then because she said that Buddhists believe in rebirth, and that's why she shared with me this story. Okay. Any?
Very good. Okay, is that okay for you? Okay. I know that one of the first times I came here, just 1 or 2 years, I did a funeral service for somebody. They gave birth, but the little baby boy was stillborn. And so I did the funeral for them. They called the boy Charlie. And I remember they showed me the photo of the whole family and Charlie in the family album. And then afterwards, while I wasn't looking, they managed to get a pen, a biro pen, and do a line on the baby's heel. And it was cremated, and after about a year I think, the mother who'd lost her first child got pregnant again and gave birth to a girl, and the girl has that birthmark on its heel. I know who those parents are, but I don't know if they want to say anything. I'm not going to look at you. Maybe they want to keep it quiet. But anyway, that's a true story. The baby got reborn again pretty quickly afterwards. Okay, next question. Yeah, I was over there to Conrad, who's over there. Okay.
Just on the topic of the Buddha's birth, and when he was born, when he said, "This is my last life," just wondering about the suggestion of the Buddha previously having an attainment when he was born as Gautama.
Okay.
And I've heard different views. I've heard your view and I've heard Ajahn Brahmali's view, but just interested to hear what you'd say about that today.
Yeah, my saying is that that when he was reborn, he was already a once returner. He was this uncontestable that a previous life, and probably a very close previous life of the Buddha, was as a monk under the Buddha Kassapa, because that's one of the suttas. If we're going to give credibility to anything what the Buddha said, that's one of the suttas in the Majjhima Nikaya, the Katikara Sutta, where the Buddha said, that was me in a previous life as a disciple of Kassapa the Buddha. And that's supposed to be this same eon, in other words, not sort of long time ago. Even to the point that this old friend, Jyotipala, came to see the Buddha, our Buddha, after his enlightenment, to congratulate him. Jyotipala, formerly Gatikara's best friend, became a non-returner. Sorry, now I got this all mixed up. Gatikara became a non-returner, which means that they get reborn in this realm called the Sudawasa, and they stay there for a long time. An anagami, non-returner, you don't want very much in this world. And came down to see the Buddha, to congratulate him, like old friends from the time before. When I actually sort of read that sutta, it made much more sense to me that when the Buddha was born, there's another sutta which says that people who are once returners, in other words, are destined to come back to this world just one more time to make the end of all suffering and become fully enlightened. They say that people who are once returners, for the most part, get reborn in the Tusutta realm. And of course, everybody says that that is where the Buddha came from, our Buddha came from, when he was reborn in Lumbini, that his previous life was in the Tusutta realm. So there's lots and lots of not 100% convincing evidence, but highly suggestive evidence that before our Buddha, Gautama, was reborn, he was in the Tusutta realm, and before that, a monk under Kassapa the Buddha. I can't see why that seems to be the most obvious. Anyway, that's my view of it. So when he said this was my last life, he was not making it up. He knew as a once returner this was his last life. What do you reckon? Any?
Normally, I don't really go into all this so much. To me, it's just like a fairy tale. Okay, I just listen. That's it. Because to me, it's like it's not going to help me to get enlightened. I get into all this, thinking about it. How did the Buddha know that this is his last life, and go on and on. You can go on and on forever, but is it going to help me to get enlightened? So normally, I don't go into this so much. But of course, we just. We guess that because the Buddha said this is a last life, okay, he must be once returned. And this is all, But I know there's lots of story about the Buddha's been born during, the previous Buddha time, and then also some of all his disciples like Moggallana and what's another one is Sariputta. They all they make the vow or they determine they want to be born as the Buddha's disciples, and then again they get enlightened. They want to get enlightened together, with the future Buddha, and then they all come together, and all these stories, So to me, I just okay, So it really, I mean, is this really help me to get enlightened? It's to me, it's okay. Listen, that's it. So. So.
I know that some of those stories, if you find out where they come from, some of them are from commentaries or even like sub-commentaries. But when you find some of those stories in the suttas, they are far more authoritative. Years ago, when I started translating and writing out the Vinaya, for the monks in our tradition, because some of the things we thought to be the Vinaya, the monastic rules, were not really that accurate. Even that really helped, because you could see why it is actually possible, it's legal to have an ordination of bhikkhunis. And I stood my ground on that. But it's also when we have some of those other stories, some seem to be a bit dodgy. But when you see what's actually in the suttas, I made a resolution, that was with Ajahn Jeff, Tanisara, when we were working together. I said, if it's in the suttas, we have to give that priority over what's in the commentaries. Because the commentaries were actually interpreted by monks after the time of the Buddha. The suttas were dominant, the commentaries were secondary, and the traditions were even more secondary than that. And it made it very easy to discard many superstitious things. I think for many Thais here, the Jatakas of Pratwasandorn, and they almost revere that. But in that tale, they have the story of this Vaisantara perfecting one of the paramis by giving away his children to someone who abused them. And many people feel that someone who's about to be the Buddha would never do something like that. It was quite a sort of difficult tale for many Westerners to read and accept that that was the work of the Buddha. And of course it's not that hard intellectually or academically to show that that story of Vaisantara and also the 10 Jataka tales were later additions. They weren't from the time of the Buddha. But when it comes to the Buddha even walking and speaking, that was right in the suttas which were shared with everybody very early in the Buddhist canon. So I make that distinction too. And I'm glad actually you asked questions about that. We have many, many tales about Buddhas and what Buddha actually is. And sometimes people ask me, is the Buddha a really, really, really special person? Of course he's a special person. But in a previous life, he actually saw Kassapa the Buddha the first time and just said bad things about him. Eventually, once he saw Kassapa the Buddha, he was inspired and became a monk under him. But at first he didn't recognize him. And so, eventually when the Buddha became a monk, he must have gained something, spending I don't know how much time under Kassapa the Buddha. You're training with the Buddha. You're not training with Ajahn Brahm or Ayahasapanya. This is with the Buddha. And that must be powerful. And he must have been at least a stream winner. But because, when he put up his finger and said, this is my last birth as a kid, how could you know that? It must have been because he realized he was a once returner. Anyway, I'll argue like that because I think it's very interesting to know just what is our tradition, what have we added to it over the years, and what actually is like original and more valid. Anyone else want to say anything?
I've got another question following that. So if the Buddha knew when he was born, that he was an agami.
A non-returner, a once-returner, sorry.
A once-returner.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does that look? Say someone is a stream enterer or a once-returner, then they're born into their next life. How do they know, or when do they know? Excellent
question. Please, I'm sorry for hogging the microphone because this is things which I love. And that is that when a person is born, their brain is not that developed yet. They haven't developed the neural functioning of the brain. They're mostly working from their mind. And that mind can remember those past lives. It's just like when a person is born, that boy who could just speak, in adult words when he was only a couple of days old, that boy could not speak afterwards. And he became a normal baby. A child who remembers their past lives can only remember them in those very early years. And around about the age of 7, that's just an average, they lose that ability to recollect their previous lives, unless they develop more contact with their minds through meditation. But, for someone like the Buddha, someone who's a stream winner, yes, they may remember, or once returning, they may remember that when they were born, when their mind is still dominant. But as they start to, the brain starts to take over, then they would lose those memories. They become just like an ordinary boy, an ordinary girl. And they'd be good, kind, more good, more kind than many other children of the same age. But they still will not be able to know for sure that they're a once returner or a stream winner. They have to re-experience that wisdom, that insight of stream winning, or once returning, or take it deeper to be a non-returner or fully enlightened. So that'll be what the Buddha did as a young boy. And as a young boy, that's when they used to call him Bodhisattva or Bodhisattva. He would never call himself a Bodhisattva before that last birth as Siddhartha Gautama, destined for enlightenment. And then eventually, what did Siddhartha Gautama do when he was, 7 years of age, sitting under a rose apple tree while his father was just doing some ploughing the fields and entering into the first jhana spontaneously. And that's a very, very deep state. How on earth could he do that? It was an inclination, obviously, from his past. And from that, he forgot about it. And to me that's kind of weird. How can you have this amazing experience and then not understand how powerful and useful it is? But that's what he did, and it was only later on, once he started his spiritual search, basically trying everything else, until eventually he thought, well, I know it's very pleasurable. Just because it's pleasurable, it doesn't mean it's going to be counter to the experience of the truth. And that's one of the reasons why the first thing he taught, after his enlightenment, was the Four Noble Truths. Actually, before the Four Noble Truths, the middle way. Please don't be afraid of the pleasures of spirituality, the great bliss of meditation, the peace it gives you. Don't go into too much asceticism. And it's hard as a leader of a Sangha here to try and encourage people, look, it's good to be restrained, but don't be too tough on yourself. When I first came here, we still were doing these all-night meditations once a week. But then I found that doing an all-night meditation, sometimes you hit the spot and have some nice times, but a lot of times it made you so tired the next day. And I started teaching the monks and the nuns, if you want to do an all-night sit and it's natural, you want to, you like it just feels the right time to do so, great. But keep it natural. Don't force it. So anyway, that's I think where what happens. And I discussed this with many monks, really good monks, great monks, and they just kind of agree with this. If you're a stream in your previous life, you have to experience it again in this life. It just happens naturally. The same insights, the same state of freedom. Okay, I'll kind of be quiet now if I get the chance. Another question from somebody? It doesn't have to be a deep dive. This is your chance to ask any question. Oh, Prem, okay. And please ask who you would like the question to be answered by.
You can pick who is.
Sorry?
It's about the Buddha's Prince Siddhartha's life. The exit of the home life to Prince Siddhartha leaving the home is kind of, I'm trying to figure out, where is it written or where is it found in a most reliable way what happened and how did he leave? Because there are a lot of stories, you read the Jataka stories, some of the stories it's different and various interpretations of what happened, and therefore, various people try to use it to show that the Prince Siddhartha left a little child and the wife, left them for nothing, sort of thing. So, which should we believe? What is the right place to find the actual or facts closest to the actual incident?
Yes. I mean, you have to, again, follow what's in the sutras rather than in commentaries or sub-commentaries. And in the sutras, it does even say when the Buddha went back, to see his son, Rahula. And when the Buddha's wife told the son to go and ask for your inheritance, and what the Buddha meant when he gave the inheritance to his son was ordaining him.
Yes.
The inheritance of the Buddha's wisdom and compassion, give that to his son. And I thought that's kind of beautiful. It made sense to me. Exactly all the other searching for truth as he left the home. He was renouncing, that's fair enough. But when you are renouncing, what do you do next? Remember, at that time there was not a Buddha alive at that time. There were other teachers, but none of those teachers seemed to have that ingredient, to be able to inspire the Buddha and lead him on the path to enlightenment. And this is like in the Mahasachaka Sutta, that's number 36 of the Majjhima Nikaya, where it mentions the Buddha's search for enlightenment and all the ascetic things he did. And it got to that point where he'd exhausted everything he'd ever thought of, everything he'd ever knew, and nothing was working. Nothing was leading to enlightenment. And that's when he thought of that experience under the rose apple tree. And then considering, why have I rejected that for all these years? And that it seems to me it was because the bliss, the happiness of that state. And many people, even today, you always think that no pain, no gain. If you're not striving and struggling, you're not really practicing. And I think that why am I afraid of that pleasure, which has nothing to do with the five senses? I will not be afraid of that pleasure. It's perhaps that pleasure and those deep meditations are the path to Bodhi, enlightenment. You realize, yes, they are the path. That was the insight. And from that, he started looking after his body first of all. It's hard to get into jhanas with a body which is very weak and no energy in it. And it was when he started eating properly, resting, and washing, that's when his first 5 disciples left him. They thought he's given up the practice. That's one of the reasons why, if I sit here and I'm really thin and skinny, and I never tell funny stories, and I'm always angry at you, shouting it at you, that's a real monk. Not one of these softies. But that's not what the Buddha was like. So this is where the Buddha said, don't be afraid of those pleasures of the mind. What he said was, if anybody asks you, I've mentioned this to you in many talks, especially on retreats. If anybody says, do the Sangha, the monks and nuns, do they enjoy pleasure? You say, what type of pleasure? If it's pleasures of the 5 senses, no. Pleasures of the mind, yes. And what happens if they it's like anuyoga. It's kind of the word mean like attachment. You're tied to, you indulge in those pleasures of the 6th sense, the mind, especially the jhanas. He said anyone who indulges in those jhanas, and the monks do indulge in jhanas, can expect only one of 4 things. And of course you know the answer to that. The 4 things you can expect if you indulge in the pleasures of the mind is the 4 stages of enlightenment, which is what we're supposed to be doing. So he was saying there one of the biggest problems was people were couldn't understand how could something so pleasurable be conducive to letting go, to enlightenment. I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, yes, but you have gone further. Yes,
okay,
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, another question? Oh, good, yeah. No, you can ask a question. Oh, over here, yes, sir. Next, first question. I'm thinking of previous Buddhas, how similar are different Buddhas of the past? The Dhamma is timeless, but the form in which it is taught or expressed. Even our Buddha said basically the 4 Noble Truths, Eightfold Path. That is like common to all Buddhas, to all enlightened ones. You understand the 4 Noble Truths, know what suffering really is. We're not talking about the suffering of diseases or disappointments, but the suffering of rebirth. And sometimes people get, hey, that's really negative, Ajahn Brahm. You know, he's suffering, you should get a life and enjoy life. And he said, no, just even getting reborn is the core of suffering. So I've already stuffed it this lifetime. I'm born. But your goal would be never to be reborn again. To let go enough, so birth ends. The Dhamma is timeless, but the form in which it is taught or expressed, usually there's something common to the form it's expressed in. A more interesting question, can the Buddha be a female? Venerable Hasapanya.
I don't know, because according to the previous have been all male, so it would be good if a female Buddha.
I think so. And basically, I agree with that. I know that sometimes I get into arguments with people because it says in the suttas, and what it says in the suttas, you can interpret that this is the best form, in 2,500 years ago, to become a Buddha, to teach the Dhamma, to serve. But is it the best way today? It would be wonderful, if we have fully enlightened teachers who are female, and eventually a Buddha who is a female. If those voices are recognized and appreciated and approved. If they're not, then you don't have the authority to teach. Does a Buddha always have to be born in India? That's what it says in some of the sutta, and some of the views of some of these monks. Can a Buddha not be born in New Zealand? No, it's not being sort of... If a Buddha was born today, I think he would probably be reborn. And there's no other Buddhas around, a real Buddha probably would be reborn, I'd imagine, over maybe in the United States, simply because of its outreach to the world. I don't know. Anyway, can I talk this other question? Neo Hawkey. Dear Ajahn, is wearing white a must for a lay devotee on Vesak Day? It's not a must, it's a lovely thing to do. And even in the time of the Buddha said that most people who are keeping 8 precepts do wear white clothes. And even in Rome, senators would wear white when they were standing for election. That's why they're called candidates. Candid means white in Latin. And that's why they would wear white, because they were open and honest and moral. So for many years, even in the West, wearing white was a symbol of your honesty and good conduct. And that's also why I used to tell this story at weddings until I got told off. I was embarrassing people. Why is it at a wedding the bride wears white, a symbol of purity, and the groom wears grey or black? What does that symbolize? Oh, okay.
Ajahn Brahm, I remember once I went out with the Anagarikas. Of course, we get something from the shop, and then the Anagarikas wants to hold money and wearing white. And then the salesperson in the shop, they thought that the Anagarikas is a senior nun, I'm the junior nun, because they're very white.
Excellent.
True, that person thought,
well, they are senior. They hold all the money, they can tell me what to do.
They think that they're the boss because they wear white, and then they're the one who pay money.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
You don't know your power. Okay, the third question here. Would you recommend taking 8 precepts as a lay person, or would the choice be made naturally? I would recommend, if you're a Buddhist, taking 8 precepts on Vesak Day. At least once a year, just to find out what it's like. To renounce and devote much more of your day, to meditation, to discussing Dhamma. And one person told me this, I think it was Dr. Kesari Dhammananda years ago, and he said it's good to keep the 8 precepts even once a month. Because on those days, there are times in your life, when you cannot sort of sleep with your partner because they're in hospital. You have to have some experience of restraint. You can't eat in the afternoon or evening sometimes. Sometimes you have to fast. And just to do it just once a month, that's a wonderful thing to do. It gives you also a sense of restraint and letting go, which strengthens, your mind. You're only saying no 1 day a month. And so that's one of the reasons why I would literally recommend that. I just recall in my life when I started taking 5 precepts, all my friends didn't agree. None of those were Buddhists. What are you doing that for? But every time I kept a precept, to vow to keep it, you felt this great sense of basically power and happiness and freedom. I didn't have to follow what other people were doing. I didn't have to fit in. I didn't have to do these things which I thought were harming me. And you felt just really uplifted and strong. That's one of the reasons I did that. So 8 precepts even better. So yeah, I would encourage it, but not recommend it. But if you do that, you don't need to tell too many people. It doesn't make you, I'm a better priest, I'm a better Buddhist, I'm an 8 preceptor. What are you? Only 5 preceptors? And someone else says, I'm only a 4 preceptor. So we don't use this for, yes?
For those who may not know, there is every Thursday, close to the full moon day, there is a 8 precept day, and Lucky will be able to give more details. Yeah. And they've been going on for a while. So please make use of that facility. It's a very quiet place and beautifully arranged.
Yes.
Listen to Dhamma, do your own practice, and then go home.
But when you go home, the 8 precepts don't finish when you get home. You can't just quickly get some fast food and eat it in the car. You have to make sure that those 8 precepts are kept until the dawn of the next day. Otherwise it doesn't make any sense keeping 8 precepts just till the evening, and in the evening, okay, I'll finish my 8 precepts now and have a dinner and watch the TV. That's not correct. Okay. Anyone want to ask another question of one of the other monks or nuns? It's 5 o'clock now, so we should really... Go on.
Ajahn Hasapanya, did you want to speak about the Vesak retreat day that you're leading on Wednesday?
Yeah, please.
Yes, there's a 1 day retreat. Today is on the 22nd, Wednesday. So you come, you arrive at 8:30. I remember the program's 8:30, and we start at 9. And then we have the introductions, like taking 8 precepts, and then guided meditation. Then after that, the practice, and then we have Q&A. So please, those who are interested, you are welcome to participate. It's a day retreat at Dhammaloka, yeah?
Okay. So it's now just gone 5 o'clock. Okay, quick question, because there'll be people coming online to take the 5 precepts for the first time. So quick question, please. No, I've got no.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, try.
All right. Yep. All right. I've listened about the discussions about rebirth, etc. And of course, things come to mind about people who have recently departed and those who have passed. And I guess everyone's probably thinking the same thing that I'm thinking as well. It's like I've been trying to find answers about our true calling and the purpose of life, pretty much. So I'm not sure if you guys can just share how we actually discover this, or how we actually develop to actually find the answers. Thank you.
Okay, how you find out your own true purpose of life is to be really still, very peaceful. I mean, it's a deep meditation. And sometimes in deep meditation you can ask yourself, what was your previous life? Who was your former wife? Why did she pass away? Why? And a lot of times you can actually find answers to that. And weird answers, but true answers that make much sense to you. And so sometimes if you can get the big picture, not just what happens in this life, but over quite a few lives, it kind of all makes sense to you. There's a lesson that you have to learn. Some you need to understand. What that is, you have to find that out. And that's one of the best ways of doing it. Okay, I did a tough answer, but we also had to do it quickly because many people are now going to come in for the 5 precepts. And it's just, you were saying, it was the 5 precepts online which you heard from Vancouver. How many years ago now? 8 years ago. And that was what inspired her and came here to train. So just getting a beautiful nun like that, well done. That's lucky result. Excellent. So you can give me these things over here. Are we online? Oh, good, yes. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. You got the list? Okay. Where's the list? Okay, we're just going to be 1 or 2 minutes to get ourselves organised. It's not we're not late. It's just the clocks in this place always go way too fast. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. Very good.
Ajahn?
Yes.
On the program,
Yes.
I think it says that because you added the Q&A,
Yeah.
so it says that we actually have to start the session with doing an acknowledgement to country.
Yes, I'm doing that now.
Yeah, you're going to do the
Oh
acknowledgement
yes,
to
yes,
country?
certainly, yeah. So thank you. We'll begin the session now. This is the 5 precepts for new Buddhists, but we also acknowledge the previous inhabitants of this country. So I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the lands in which we live, work and care. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples in Australia. It's a beautiful little respect for those people who came before and who are still here. So now we're going to do the ceremony of taking the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. If there's any of you here, you got that okay? If there's any of you here who have taken the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts for the first time, please come and sit in the front here. I know there's many people online, but those people who are actually here, please come up. There's no need to feel embarrassed or ashamed or anything. It's a beautiful thing you're doing. Okay, that's not close enough. Please come closer. Closer, 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 closer. No, it's not you. Okay. It's nice for me to see you. Please come closer and closer and closer. Yeah, come on. Come closer. Yeah. I had a shower this morning. You should come closer. No, come closer, closer, closer. You get more energy. Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. Okay. Are we ready? Okay. Now look, these 5 precepts are just something, again, you ask any monk or nun, they're very, very, very special. And when I first took those 5 precepts, it was weird, because I've been visiting a Thai temple in London. It was in Richmond. It's moved since then to Wimbledon. But in those days, it was in East Sheen, just outside of Richmond. And I remember going there very regularly to listen to Dhamma and to meditate. And then one day, one of the monks there said, "You've been coming here a long time. It's about time that you ask for the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts." And this was honest, this was true. I said, "Venerable, what are the 5 precepts?" And he said to me, the 5 precepts, aparnati pata, which is not deliberately killing any living being. And number 2, adinadana, not taking what's not given to you. In other words, not stealing. And the 3rd one is kamesu michachara, which no sexual misconduct, which literally does mean if you have a partner in life, it can be the same gender partner, it can be a heterosexual relationship, but if you have a partner, please don't cheat on them, keep it to one partner. Because if you have 2 partners, that hurts the other one. And number 4 is not lying. And it's not just not lying, it's not breaking promises either. And that really causes me a lot of suffering these days, because sometimes people ask me out for a dana, and I don't want to say no. But if I say yes, I have to go. I can't break that promise. So I usually say, I'll think about it. Trying to find a middle way somewhere. So, but that also includes not deliberately breaking a promise, the 4th precept. And the last one, sura miriya, that is not taking alcohol or non-medicinal drugs. It's okay to take drugs which are prescribed for you by the doctor or by the psychologist, psychiatrist. You don't need to give those up, except with the advice of the psychologist, psychiatrist. But it's the non-medicinal ones they're talking about, what they call the recreational drugs. You don't really need those, they're like alcohol. They just mess up your mind. So those are the 5 precepts. And so when this monk told me that, I was arrogant, but I was honest. And I said, "Venerable Sir, I don't need to take those from you. I've been keeping them all for about 2 years already." Which was true. I discovered them myself. They were amazing things, and because I knew their worth and how powerful they were and how safe they were, it became natural for me to live by the 5 precepts. You could not do that. But nevertheless, I said, well, it's still a good idea to actually to take them formally in front of you, just to affirm to you that these precepts are really, really important. So that's what we're doing. And also when we have these 3 refuges and the 5 precepts, it starts with the 3 refuges, which for any Buddhist in the world, no Buddhaṃ savaṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ savaṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ savaṇaṃ gacchāmi. This is actually how we recognize what a Buddhist is. It's common to all our traditions. And I always remembered going on pilgrimage to India, and outside of Bodh Gaya, in the morning or the evening when you're walking to the shrine, you always hear on the tannoy system, on the PA system, the Indian monks chanting Buddhaṃ savaṇaṃ gacchāmi. And you just, for me, I just hear that once, and it's the most beautiful. This was chanted in Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha was born. I'm sorry, when the Buddha was born, became the Buddha. It was not Siddhartha Gautama anymore. He became enlightened there. And the power of that stays with me forever. Just the chanting. I can't repeat it with the same power, but you have feeling for it. So we do that first of all, and then the 5 precepts. Do you understand? Okay, so let's get going. And I know we want to do these precepts in English, but lucky there's Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. That just is too powerful for me. I have to do it that way. Parati we can do in English. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? Okay. So we can, those taking the 5 precepts for the first time. Actually, you can all join in if you wish, because this is a beautiful thing to chant. First of all, we do the Namo Tassa. Here we go. We can do this, the Namo Tassa in English, but the Refuges, sorry, I can't stop it. So first of all, the homage to the Buddha. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Now please you chant this. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Now we do the 3 refuges. Sorry, I get too inspired on Vesak Day. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. That completes the 3 refuges. Now we go to take the 5 precepts. So I say it first and you can say it afterwards. I undertake the precept to refrain from intentionally destroying living creatures. What is usually helpful when we're chanting it together is to chant it slowly, like word by word, and then we can catch up with each other. So I'm going to do that one again. Together, I undertake the precept to refrain from intentionally destroying living creatures. The second one we can also do together. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking what is not given. I undertake the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the precept to refrain from lying. I undertake the precept to refrain from intoxicating liquors and drugs which lead to carelessness. These 5 training precepts, through virtue they lead to a happy rebirth. Through virtue they lead to prosperity. Through virtue they lead to liberation. Therefore one should purify virtue. It's not just to look good, it's to be happy and to be free. You say, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And what does sadhu mean? Awesome. 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 Very good. Excellent. So all of you who were taking the 5 precepts for the first time here, or taking them overseas, you know, you can now call yourself a practicing Buddhist. That makes you a real Buddhist. And sometimes you can feel that inside your heart. And it's not just saying these things. I personally do not get anything out of this. The BSWA don't get anything out of this. This is us and me and the whole Sangha here giving to you, sharing what the beautiful things which we have received by taking these precepts and sharing them with each one of you. They're valuable jewels, and please don't cast them away. So again, those precepts, I'm sure that you should have no real difficulty understanding their meaning. The sexual misconduct one, sometimes people get confused about that. Never just impose, your desires on another person. And a relationship is about consent between 2 people. You don't assume it. And it doesn't have to be underage or overage. Whatever age, especially you have to keep the law of the land. But above that, to make sure you have that sensitivity and kindness to the people you live with. And it could really hurt somebody else. I've said this to many times. I don't know what it is, sometimes with men, but it also takes a woman as well to commit sort of adultery or to cheat. And so many men I've talked to always think they can get away with it. They think they can hide it, conceal it. But please remember the case of General Petraeus. He was one of the heroes in the US Army during the war in Iraq. It was in Iraq. But also, he became the head of the CIA, this powerful top secret, basically spy organization, United States, with all the resources of the CIA. When he was having an affair with one of his secretaries, he could not keep it a secret. And he was the head of the secret security service in the United States. So if General Petraeus, the head of the CIA, can't keep a secret from his wife, guys, you've got no chance. I just say that because it's not worth the pain which you give to these other people who trust you. It's a breach of that trust, and that's awful to do. So, as a Buddhist, keep these 5 precepts as best you can. What happens if you break a precept? Does that mean you're no longer a Buddhist? Not at all. If you break a precept, then you find someone you trust to let them know as soon as you possibly can. And then to try your best never to break that precept again. You feel you made a mistake, you failed, but you can always carry on and learn from the mistakes to be a better human being. until eventually you don't need to break any precept anymore. They become natural to you. Who would want to deliberately hurt anybody? And that's what these precepts are about. Not hurting yourself, not hurting others. Okay, so if you have any more questions or any questions about the precepts, you can always come and ask a monk or a nun, or even some of the senior people in our community. Now, where's the... Okay, yes. Only one. Okay, we got here the names. Okay. Okay, this is the ones from overseas. Oh yes, we have him here. So the first one is from Poland. You know, there's so many people are listening to the talks which we put on podcast here, and the biggest number overseas are those who listen in Poland. So to each one of you on Poland listening, dziękuję. Is that right? Conrad? Dziękuję. Yeah, good, yeah, great. Great. So the first certificate for for taking the 5 precepts today is to Agnieszka Idzik. And I hope I pronounced that right. Are you here or are you on the screen? Are you there? Where are you? Yeah, please put up your hands, let's see. Oh. Yeah, thank you. Welcome. Thank you. We'll send this certificate to you and one of these Kalama Sutta to you as soon as we possibly can. Certificate for you. Okay, that will go to you soon. The next one, Bindu. Bindu Chanda in the UK. Thank you for taking the 5 precepts. I know you do ask me many questions online. Some of them I have the time to answer, sometimes not. Are you here? On a Bindu? Chanda? No, okay, it may be just difficult time zone. But anyway, you're going to get one of these soon. The next one is Brandon Stockbridge. You're supposed to be here. Yeah. So, well done. Thank you for coming here. We've got some of the books here as well. Are these for? What are these for? These gifts? For Brandon? Special one for you. So thank you for coming here. And thank you for taking the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. Honestly, you'll never regret it. It's a beautiful thing to do. The next one is Carolyn Minifee, New South Wales. Oh, you're there. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you for becoming, or actually for taking the 5 precepts in front of everybody here. And this will go to Carolyn soon. The next one is Carrie Sietzima in Texas. Are you there? You know this monk over here? He is also from Texas. Do you know each other? You do. You do. She knows you. He's from Fort Worth. What town is... Oh, I can't have a conversation on it. Anyway, this will go to you soon. The next one is Cassandra Reagan. And you are from Perth. Oh, where are you? Cassandra? Oh, you couldn't come here today. Anyway, nice to see you. Thank you. So this is for Cassandra. That'll be sent to you. Only in Maylands. Where am I getting? The next one is Christine Mitzi in Malta. Christine, Malta? Yeah. Hi, nice to see you. Thank you for joining in. It looks very nice in Malta. Yeah. Oh, walking, okay. Okay. This will be sent to you. Welcome. The next one is Drew Platt in USA. Drew Platt in Los Angeles. Oh, he's probably making a movie. Because I'm getting all. Hey, Leo John. I missed out Leo. Anyway, Drew Platt, this will be sent to you as soon as we possibly can. Edward Marshall in Maryland, USA. Edward, oh, you're there? Hi, thank you for being here. And hopefully one day either we can go and visit Maryland or you can come and visit us. Very good. Drew. Eugene White in Kentucky. Eugene, hi, welcome. Excellent. You know, one of my monks was from Tennessee many years ago, Kitty Saro, and he had such a thick Southern American accent. Hi, y'all. Was that any good? No, it wasn't terrible. Okay. At least I tried. But anyway, Eugene, welcome to our... is he there? Oh, yeah. He's over there, yeah. Thank you for being here. And Jan Noga from Poland. Jan. Dziękuję. Anyway, you're going to get one of these soon. And John Stone from Pennsylvania. Not there. Oh, okay. But they're welcome to our organization. Karen Ford from Cayman Islands. Oh, wow. We should go investing some of our surplus funds in Cayman. No, we can't do that. Anyway, very nice to see you. We're very honest. So Karen, welcome to the Buddhist Society of Western Australia. And Lin Shi Liang in Singapore. Not there, okay. But anyway, thank you for joining up. I don't know what I've got here. And Margaret Barrick in Los Cristianos, Tenerife, in the Canaries. Are you here? Marguerite Barwick? You are? Is she here? No. Oh, she is. Hi. Thank you for coming. I better hurry up with these things. Cracky. Okay. Marianne Jones from Western Australia. Are you here? Marianne Jones? Oh, she's over there. Hi, Marianne. Thank you. I wish you all happy as well be. Put down your hand, you get sore arm. From Poland, Mateusz Rak. Mateusz? Are you there? Mateusc. Is that Mateusz? Conrad? Help. Who? Mateus. Mateus? Oh, okay. But anyway, you get all the stuff in a minute. A minute or two, or 5 or 10,000. Pei Se Hong from Perth, Western Australia. Hey, hi. Welcome. Thank you for joining up. Hang on, you get one of these, I think. And you also get something else. It all disappeared. Okay, yeah. Here we go. And the next one is Penny Riddock from Perth. Penny? Are you on the online? Penny, Riddoch from Perth. Penny? Penny? Okay. Anyway, this will be sent to you. Next one, Raj Sanjani from Perth. Raj? Online. Hi Raj, thank you for joining up and thank you for keeping the 5 precepts. May I be of service to you for the rest of your life. And Sandra Jureshka. It's online. Hi. Thank you for coming on board. And may you enjoy keeping the 5 precepts. And Sandro Ristic from Croatia. Sandra? There, okay. Nice to see you. Sandro. Oh, here you go. And Sian Long Chong from Port Kennedy. Oh, you came. Well done. Wait a minute, one of these. And are these books just for people in West Australia? Okay. We'll get you something overseas. And Tamara Barton from Queensland. Tamara Barton. Is she there? No, anyway, this will be sent to you. And welcome, congratulations for taking the 5 precepts. And Toby Lee Steiner in the USA. Toby Lee Steiner? Anyway, this will be sent to you. Tracy Marco from Utah, USA. Tracy? She is? Okay. Hi, Tracy. Oh, there you are, at the top there. I will send this to you as soon as... Oh, you've got Massachusetts. Oh, Massachusetts, USA. Oh, yeah, Tracy Smith is from Utah. So Tracy Marco. Are you Tracy Marco or Tracy Smith? Tracy Smith. Okay, this one here is be sent to you. Do we have a Tracy Marco? No, she's not on this. Okay, that's it. So now the whole Sangha can give a blessing to you all. The Te Atalada. Te Atalada Sukhita Viroha Buddha Sasane Arogya Sukhita Hota Saha Sabehiyati Te Atalada Sukhita Viroha Buddha Sasane Arogya Sukhita Hota Saha Sabehiyati Te Atalada Sukhita Viroha Buddha Sasane Arogya Sukhita Hota Saha Sabehiyati. And the translation of that party first, it's well gotten of you, all those of you who took the 5 precepts today in front of me. May that be a cause for your happiness, well-being, not just for you, but also for your whole family as well, wherever in the world they may be. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, and I hope to see you all one day somewhere, someplace. Take care, everybody. Over there. Bye-bye. Okay. So, now those of you who took the 3 refuges and 5 precepts here, you're invited to a special elite tea time over in usually the room next door. Is that correct? Yes, next door. So only those who have taken the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts today. Just a chance where the Sangha can come and congratulate you and get to know you more easily. And then for the rest of us, At 6 p.m., it's only about 20 minutes, we'll be a bit late, we do the circumambulation in 10 minutes' time. Okay. Yes, it is. It's close enough. I'll live up to that. Somebody has dropped their car key. What key is it? It's got Sterling Leisure Centres on it. If you don't come and claim it, we'll consider it a donation to the Nanson Monastery. There we go. Sterling Leisure. Oh, what is it? It's a Kia. Someone's dropped their car key for a Kia. Okay. Please. You found it. Okay, no. We're honest here. We keep precepts too. Okay. That one there. Okay. Keep this one for next time. Hi, Betty. Oh, good. Excellent. Okay, no, it's good. I can give her special afterwards. Yeah.
Ajahn, this look better than real person. They try to,
As usual, we have the flower offering next. And then circumambulation, do we go to
No, nothing's on. We're saving electricity. Oh, that's on now. So those of you who wish to come and join the ceremony, please come in as soon as possible. You can see that we've got a new monk, a good friend, a Venerable Kai Si from Penang. Whenever I go to Penang, he always comes on my retreats. He knows what I'm going to say better than I do. And for those of you who don't know this story, the story of Albert Einstein, when he first went to United States, he was invited by many universities, and no one knew what he really looked like. This was before TV, or certainly before internet. They could only see pictures on newspapers, but nevertheless his reputation was so good, they invited him over to give a lecture in Harvard and Princeton and all the major universities in the United States. So when he arrived, they arranged a limousine for him and a driver to drive him from place to place. And after 3 or 4 lectures in different universities on the West Coast, on the East Coast, sorry, different universities, the driver just said to Professor Einstein, "I've heard you speaking so many times already, I think I know exactly what you're going to say. In fact, I think I could give the talk myself." That's just like myself and Venerable Kai Si. You know, when I ever give a talk, he knows all the stories, because how many years have you been coming to my retreats in Penang? 24 years. Wow. So Albert Einstein said, good idea. They swapped places in the limousine. So Albert Einstein was in the front driving, and the driver was in the back pretending to be Albert Einstein. So when he got to like one of the universities like Princeton, they welcomed him. "Welcome, Professor Einstein. It's an honor to see you here." And they were just inviting the driver in for dinner. And Albert Einstein had a meal with the servants in the university. And then when the talk came up, the driver impersonating Einstein did an amazing job. Knew all the stories, you know, all the jokes and all the funny stuff. And then they were just rose up to give a standing ovation to this amazing professor of physics, Albert Einstein. But not everybody was convinced. A few of them wondered, is this really Professor Einstein? So one of them asked him a question, a very deep question on special relativity. And this was just the driver standing up at the lectern. But this driver was so smart, and the driver replied to his professor, answering a very deep question on relativity. He said, "That is such a basic question on relativity. Even my driver in the back could answer that question. Driver, you answer it." And the driver gave a perfect answer. Why? Because the driver really was Einstein. Okay, you weren't paying attention, that's why you didn't laugh. But nevertheless, that's by Venerable Kai Si. Okay, so if you'd like to come up, we're going to start with the offering of the... Where's Prem gone? Okay, you got some sheets? There's way too many sheets, but anyway. And then we'll do a circumambulation around the park. Okay? Yeah, we can start with the offering of the flowers. So especially those who are on 8 precepts, can I please ask the 8 preceptors to come up, first of all, to help offer the flowers. Everybody, as they're passing around, is a joint offering which we're going to put on the shrine to the Buddha on Vesak Day. You all touch it, say sadhu, and then you join in the offering by that very act. So can we start now? all the people here, as many as you can. Very good. It was one of the things which I really appreciated with Buddhism. When somebody makes an offering, it's never one person makes the offering. Even if it was some real royalty, like a king or a queen, they would actually buy the robe, they would pass it around to everybody, and everybody would touch it, say sadhu, and they would be joining in the merits of that offering. So you don't need to be a rich person, you don't need to be wealthy or have access to these amazing things which you offer to the Buddha. Everybody can make that offering by joining in. It's called the main reason why we say anumodana. We rejoice along with. That's what that word really means. So we're passing these things around to everybody. See if you can join in with the offering, simply just by touching the gifts. And if anyone is wondering, we don't just have 3 nuns here today and 3 monks, we have 4 monks here. You know who the 4th monk is? This one. Who does it look like? Yeah, they gave this to me in Indonesia last week. And one of the devotees, they put it in their luggage and brought it over and offered it just a day ago. So this is Indonesian version of Ajahn Brahm. And what I want to do is to get more of these so I can send one to Penang, one to Indonesia, one to Thailand, one to Hong Kong. So when people keep saying, why aren't you visiting us? I say, I'm there all the time. So you can look at me. So sometimes people, that's what they do. They come here and they just want to take a photograph. If I put this in Penang, you don't need to take a photograph. You can take a photograph of this. You do cameras, you can magnify it. Anyway. Very good. Excellent. So where are the candles and flowers? Some of you may have to just reach over to be able to touch the flowers and the incense and the candles. Then after they're all offered, then we do a little bit of chanting and then we go off for the circumambulation. And many of our visitors from Penang who are staying at Jhana Grove, you will notice that the water is very low in Jhana Grove and over in Bodhinyana Monastery. And that's one of the reasons just why we got enough grass there now for the kangaroos, but we have to be very careful with the water. And that's one of the reasons why we don't really want it to rain until after Vesak night. Because after the circumambulation, then I'm going to ask it to rain as much as it can. Is that okay? Do you mind being wet for the last few days of your retreat? Okay, La? It should be okay because you see how Jhana Grove is built. You can walk almost anywhere, just in the main complex, under the roofs. So wherever you go, you don't need to get wet. Wow, it's still going on. One of the things as a monk you have to learn how to do is not just to give talks, but to ad-lib. And I like ad-libbing, which means like saying something while things are being done, because they're going very slowly. But it's nice to be able to know that at this meeting this evening. We have people from what are you doing? From all parts of the world here. We have people again from Penang. Who are the ones from Penang? Please put your hands up. Wow, a lot. How many from KL? One. Okay, you're very lonely today. How many from Indonesia? Only one. Goodness gracious. Two. Okay, yeah. They're responsible for this. And how many from Singapore? Over there, yeah. You're not from Singapore, you're Aussie. How many from India? There was many here from India earlier. How many from Bangladesh? Bangladesh?
They came this morning.
They did, yes. Okay. Now you offer it to the nuns first. Yeah. You know, one thing which I like, I don't know how many of you noticed this morning, that one of the people who was Bangladeshi who came here, that he is the Vice Chancellor of UWA. I never like to sort of announce sort of these VIPs who come here, because the biggest VIPs is the monks and the nuns and the 8 preceptors. They're the most important. But it's nice to see that, you know, he's a Buddhist and he's the Vice Chancellor of one of the most important universities here in Western Australia. And who else have we got? How many English people here? English? Okay, I confess. How many people from Thailand? Yeah, oh, a lot of you. How many people from Vietnam? Yeah. How many people of Vietnam, Australia? How many people from Cambodia? Yeah. Sri Lanka? No, you're Vietnam. Okay. From Sri Lanka? And how many people here today from Australia? We still have some Aussies here. And how many people here today from Texas? Okay. A new novice monk. Very good. How many people here from Canada? Canada, Vancouver? Yeah, exactly. Okay, which did I miss out? How many people here from the moon? No. Very good. Okay. Yeah, please, yes. Thank you. Did I miss any countries out? I must have. Bangladesh. Yes, we have lots of people from Bangladesh here. Where were they? They came in the morning. Okay, yeah. Anyway, nice to see them all. How many else? From somewhere. Oh yeah. We're going to put the incense up the top now. Was that be carried around? I don't know. We usually have other ones under. Was it be carried around? No, I don't think. It's too nice here. Put it. Okay, it should be. It's very nice. Oh, yeah. Very good. Okay. We've got some more flowers here. We also offer, believe it or not, sort of refreshments like drinks. The drinks in Buddhism, we call them medicines. Even in Sri Lanka, you call them gilampasa. It means actually medicines. But it's not just for sickness if you're close to death. It's like tonics. So the monks can, say, have a cup of tea or some sugar, and that's going to make them have good health. Very good. Oh yeah, okay. Very good. Yes, that's just good. Yes, okay. No, I just... Very good. Have you got some chanting sheets, or should we just do it very shortly? The chanting sheets? Okay. Okay, oh great, yes. Excellent. Okay, yes. Yeah, no, it's okay, I can read from there. It's okay, okay. Very good. So you see the chanting which we do for the offerings which we make today to the Buddha and reflections we make. Those words are on the screen over here. So in a few moments we'll start doing that chanting. It's okay, I can see this over here, that's fine, yes, now. Okay, just in case. Yeah, flower puja. Okay, so let us begin now. We start with homage to the Buddha. And whenever I do ceremonies, I try to make sure that I pause and take the ceremony seriously, and that makes them much more powerful. The first are homage to the Buddha. Even though I chant this so many times in one day, I listen to it as I'm chanting and give it the full meaning. Today we've all come here, Vesak Day, to pay homage to the Buddha. And this is a chant which we do. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. And now we do the recollections of the virtues of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. This is the Itipiso chant. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijja charana sampano sugato lo kavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sata deva manusana buddha bhagavati suakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akariko ehipasiko opanayiko pachatang veditabo vinyuhiti supatipano bhagavato sawaka sangho ujupatipano bhagavato sawaka sangho yaya patipano bhagavato sawaka sangho sami chipatipano bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Yadita Chatari Purisa Yugani Ata Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttara Punya Keta Lokasati. And now we continue with these, they call them gathas, like verses, which have been chanted for many, many centuries in places like Sri Lanka. This is the offering of lights. So we'll chant it together in Pali as best possible, and I will do the translation chant alone. Gana Sarapa Ditena Dipena Tamadangsina Tiloka Dipak Sambodang Pujayami Samudaya. With these lights brightly shining, abolishing this gloom, I worship the Enlightened One, the light of the world, the dispeller of darkness. Now the offering of incense. Ganda Samba Rayutena Dupe Ahang Sugandina Pujaye Pujaniyantang Puja Bhajanamutamang. With perfumed incense made from fragrant substances, I honor the Exalted One, who is most worthy of veneration. Now the offering of flowers. Vanaganda Gunopetang Etang Kusama Santating Pujayami Munindasa Siripada Saroruhe Pujami Buddhang Kusumena Nena Punyena Me Tena Chahotu Mokang Pupang Mila Yati Yata Idame Kayo Tatayati Vinasabhawang. These flowers, beautiful and fragrant, I offer at the holy lotus-like feet of the noble sage. I offer thee, Lord Buddha, these flowers. May this offering be helpful in bringing me release. Just as these flowers must one day fade, so our bodies must one day perish. Now the offering of water. Sugandang sitalang kapang pasana madurang subang paniya metang bhagawa patigan hatumutamang. Fragrant, cool and filtered, clear, sweet and pure, may the Buddha accept this water. Offering medicinal drinks. Adiwa setu no bante gilana pachayang imang anukampa upadaya patigan hatumutamang. Please accept, O Blessed One, these medicinal drinks as an offering to you out of great compassion for us. And now, these are not offering chants, these are the homage chants. We start to general objects of Buddhist worship. Wandami chediyang sabang sabadamma manititang Saririkadatu Mahabodhi Buddha Rupa Sakalang Sada. I pay homage to all the stupas that stand in every place, and also to the relics, and to the Bodhi tree, and to all Buddha images. And often we spend especially attention to the Bodhi tree. And here there's two Pali verses. I'm going to say the two together, and then I will translate the two after we chanted both of these. Yasamule nisinoa sabari vijayang aka pato sabanyutang sata vanteta bodhipadapang ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita aham pite namasami bodhiraja namatute. Seated at whose base the Buddha overcome all, attaining full awakening, I venerate that Bodhi tree. This great Bodhi tree was revered by the Buddha. I too salute you. Homage to you, O great Bodhi. Now we recollect the nature of the body. Namami Buddha Gunasagarantang Sata Sada Hontu Sukhi Awera Kayo Jigucho Sakalo Sugando Gachanti Sabe Maranang Ahancha. Homage to the Buddha, with qualities like the great ocean. May all beings be happy and free from hostility. Shun this body, it is essentially repugnant, for all bodies end in death, including mine. Now for the future aspirations to always in this life and the future life to be associated with the wise. Imina punya kamena mame bala samagamo satra samagamo hotu yawani banapatiya. As a result of this great merit, may I never associate with fools, but only with the wise, until my final attainment of Nibbana. And as lay people, we do wish for prosperity. I wish you to be prosperous, because you're the ones who keep, the dana coming in so the monasteries can actually function, but not too much, just nice and peacefully. As a result of this merit, I haven't done this one. Imina punya kamena mame Dalitiyang ahu nati tiwachanang nama ma ahosi bawa bawe. By the power of this merit, may I experience no poverty, even the phrase, I have not. May I not hear that throughout my future lives. Now, even deeper aspirations for the mind to be released. Namami satu novada apamada vachanantimang sabepi chetiye vande upaja chariye mamang maihang panamate jena chitang pape himunchatang. Homage to the Buddha's last words. Be diligent and mindful. May homage to all stupas and to my teachers. May the power of such respect lead my mind to freedom from defilements. Now we do the transference of merits to our deceased relations. Idam me yatinang hotu sukhita hontu yatayo. Idam me yatinang hotu sukhita hontu yatayo. Idam me yatinang hotu sukhita hontu yatayo. May my departed relations receive these merits, and may they all be well and happy. Now we don't just do this to our relations, we chant this sharing of merits to all beings. Etawata chamhehi sambata punya sampadang sabbe deva numodantu sabbe bhuta numodantu sabbe sata numodantu sabba sampati siddhya. May all deities, spirits and beings rejoice in the merits we have made. And now we wish for our secular happiness to all to be a peaceful, prosperous place. Devo vasatu kalena sassa sampati hotu cha pito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko. May the climate be hospitable, may the economy boom, may the whole world be prosperous, and may our governments be just and honest. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Excellent. So that completes the chanting. Now what we do, if you can meet just outside, and with the candles, flowers and incense, led by the monks and nuns, we will do a circumambulation in the park. There are 2 Bodhi trees we planted in the park, so as we're going around them, we're recollecting on the qualities of the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha. And as you are going around, please try and be quiet, because this is an act of reverence. So now please get ready to do the circumambulation. Yeah, coming. Thank you.
Sorry. Ajahn. Yeah, we're live. Yeah. Okay. So sorry.
Ajahn Brahm. Okay. Oh, lights on me. Okay. So when we do, excuse me, when we do the circumambulation, please try and be quiet. The first time around, we contemplate the Buddha, space. The second time, the Dhamma. The third circumambulation, the Sangha. Just think that in our hearts. Okay, let's start.
Oh, kill me. I see them go. Api kopi yang yeah, hello.
Yeah, you don't like the camera, keep it on. And I have to be so careful with that incense. Don't touch anybody with it because you'll burn them.
Chcesz tego? Polącie oczy?
Where is the stupa?
Hi! We are live. Everybody gives free food, the free things. Yay, cool. We good? Cool. Whoops. Oops.
Will they all come back here?
I think so, yeah.
Where is the main entrance?
Hey, how are you? Good. Hello. Is it a beautiful day?
It takes about an hour and 7 minutes to go.
Excuse me, can I ask you? This one is what? Selfie stick. How many?
How many? What's the? Oh, this is a. This is not so. Oh, how to say that? Yeah, it's like a holder or handle. Yeah, yeah. You can use it. You can put it out. I mean, here. Yeah, yeah. So we're doing a live stream. Yeah. Thank you. Alright. Hi. Hello. Very nice. Okay. We still on? I'll finish?
So I think we can finish now.
Oh, cool.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
I just checked. I didn't realise that the monastics don't come back. So you're coming back in now here. Oh, I'm going to kill it quickly and switch to this view. Thank you.